Hello everyone, welcome to the Corner Library and happy Easter. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Easter. As you can see, we have our decorations and our chocolates out. Today is Sunday. I am filming this for you Easter Sunday, for you tomorrow, which is Easter Monday. So it's still relevant. All of the Easter decorations are still relevant. And I thought it was nice just to change the background up a little bit. I hope you've all been well. I was expecting today to have a bit of footage from my trips to Melbourne this last week, but I was really disappointed that Melbourne did not have any sort of interesting or sort of really extremely visually pleasant Easter decorations, and most of the shops were not decorated. The chocolate shops had a few decorations. There was a stationer's that I go to that had a couple of little decorations in the window, but nothing that was really outstanding or that I thought was interesting for the channel. So that was a bit disappointing. So I'm sorry everyone, you just have me today with our decorations here at home and our books for this week. Let's get into it. I'm going to try and make this a relatively short one for you today. She says, you know that that's almost impossible for me because I chat so much, but I will do my best for you. So before we begin, I hope you've had a lovely weekend, lovely Easter. Not too many chocolates, everyone. Otherwise we'll all be in a sugar coma. I'm trying to steer clear a little bit. I did buy Mark some books for Easter and a couple of lovely chocolates made by a Tasmanian company. That was nice. I asked for no chocolates. I did not want any chocolates. I've bought the beautiful Lindt and Ferrero Rocher chocolates for you. Or as a display. I'm not sure who's going to eat them. It looks like Mark will be eating them. But yeah, I bought books instead for Easter from independent bookshops. So trying to help out the independent bookshop industry. Okay, let's get on to these. Enough yapping. Right, HQ Fiction sent me, amongst others, and sorry everyone, in fact they look a bit cloudy. Sorry. I hope you're not getting too much reflection, but I need the light, I need the blinds open so that you can see properly, so that you can see, not necessarily me, but so that you can see the books. Okay, HQ Fiction sent me this one, along with a few others, but I read this. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't read this last week. I read it actually the week before, but I didn't present it to you. I'm trying to sort of stagger what I show you. This is Secrets of the Watch House by Jenny Ashcroft. Set in Cornwall in England in 1934, Violet, it's a love story. It's a love story, really. But it's a mystery as well. A bit of a mystery and a mystery in a number of ways, actually. But anyway, so Violet is given a job by a very wealthy widower by the name of James. His first wife has died under strange circumstances or mysterious circumstances. Our Violet goes to work for him and she the rumour mill begins. And then we learn a little bit more about we think we learn a little bit more about the circumstances of James's first wife's death. I'm not going to say any more. You know I don't like giving you all of those sort of details. I want you to discover this novel for yourself. I want you to discover all the novels. But yes, based in Cornwall, 1934 we begin. It's well written, it's beautifully written. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. I recommend it right up there. Well written, a beautiful story, mystery, a love story, and she gives that beautiful sense of place. We get a lot of description here of Cornwall, or some aspects of Cornwall. Now, Jenny Ashcroft is English, but she has spent quite a bit of time, and I think she does still spend a bit of time in Australia, between Australia and the UK. I recommend this one. I think it's, now this is not, I think it's not due out. It was published this year, but I don't think it's due out yet. I will give you, oh sorry, this edition was 2024, so it is out. I beg your pardon. I think I'm getting confused with the next one, which I'm about to show you. So this is 2024. You would be able to purchase it from an independent bookshop, preferably. I recommend this. It's absolutely brilliant. I recommend it. Now, this next one, Australian, Emily Paul, The Distance Between Dreams. This comes out, this is by Fremantle Press in Western Australia. As you know, I love a good majority, if not most of the Fremantle Press novels and their authors. This is due out now, April 2025. I have the little media release here. I read half of this last week, and then I finished it earlier half last week, and then earlier this week I finished it. Emily is in Western Australia. This is, oh, there's a hair there, sorry everyone. This is about Sarah. It's written in third person. So this is about Sarah, and she comes across, she's very well off, she's very privileged, and she comes across a gentleman by the name of Winston who is not so privileged. Now, from memory, I think we start off in 1939. It is dated. Most of the chapters are dated, but let me just check this, everyone. Yes, we begin in 1939, and it goes through the war. Love story. I really enjoyed it. It is beautifully written. I think actually just as I was talking to you, I read on the back here, just to confirm, that it was shortlisted for the Fogarty Literary Award. So we have a really good novel here on our hands. It's beautiful. Australian author, Australian story, Australian publisher, Fremantle Press. I recommend this, everyone. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful story. Different. It is a love story. It's also her coming of age story. And there is a lovely, again, a beautiful, beautiful descriptions of place in Fremantle, or not in Fremantle, but in Western Australia. Absolutely beautiful. I loved it, and I recommend it. So that's that one. Now, the next few, some of them, or one of them particularly is an old one, but we'll go through. Anyway, this one I picked up from an independent book shop. It was on special. I picked it up maybe a few weeks ago, I think. But I read it this week. This is The Company by J.M. Varese. This was, I think it was 2023. Yes, 2023. And is by Baskerville Publishing. American author. English story in the 1870s. Or we guess it's about the 1870s by what he... we're not told exactly, but we're given indications throughout the story that it's about 1870, just by some of the historical things that are mentioned in here. Okay, so this is a Gothic mystery. I have to say I loved the writing. The prose was very indicative of the way you would believe England to have expressed themselves and to have spoken and to have behaved in the late 1800s. So I think Varese did a wonderful job of that. The story was also extremely interesting but could have been better. I thought the story, the some of the story, some of the elements of the story were repeated far too much, to the point where, it was an eye roll and, oh, really, do you really have to tell us that again? As a reader, I'm sure we understood that the first time. So I thought it was rather repetitive, and it was a bit long in the tooth, and the ending was disappointing. So although it was interesting, but it was disappointing. Overall, look, I love the cover. And as I say, the story itself could have been so much more interesting. It's about a young girl who, and a brother has died, a father has died. They own a wallpaper company. I thought a lot more could have been made about that. I thought that would have been interesting for the reader. But instead we had this repetition of what she thought of one of the characters in the novel. Admittedly, he was crucial to the story, but I just felt that the character or our author just repeated the feelings and the beliefs that our main character had. Overall, I was disappointed with this one. If you have read it, please let me know what you think. But I just thought it had so much potential. It could have done so much better. The prose itself was brilliant. The story could have been great. There could have been much more made of the actual wallpaper company at that time, or of the time. But yeah, this was a disappointment for me, everyone. And so, do I recommend it? I think it's worth a read. And maybe I'm just not seeing it for what it is. I don't know. But yeah, I was just a bit disappointed. But I'm not saying that it's completely, a forget it sort of novel. It's interesting, and it was interesting in that it had that potential. But I felt at the end, the majority of the book was about how our main character felt about this other character and how she felt about the past. And then at the ending was rushed. It was, to me, it felt as though the author thought, oh my goodness, I've spent all this time on the backstory and this story. Quick, I've got to get the ending. I have to end it. That's how it felt to me. So if you have read it, let me know what you think. But it's not my favourite, not by a long shot. Okay, now this next one is by Ethel Lena White. She was equivalent in the 20s, 30s, 40s for... she was the equivalent of Marjorie Allingham, Dorothy L. Sayers, Agatha Christie for her crime novels. This was originally titled The Wheel Spins. Alfred Hitchcock made it into a movie, and it was titled The Lady Vanishes. I picked the novel up quite some time ago. Well, actually, I think it was early last year, actually, I think I bought this. But I read it again. I did read it many years ago, as The Wheel Spins, but I read it recently. I bought it because I have lost my copy, and I bought it and then I read it just recently in the last few weeks. This is brilliant. It's really good. It is a train journey. Now, we find our main character, oh gosh, what was her name now? Everyone, I'm going to have a look. Oh, Iris, here we go. It just flashed into she's a socialite, really sort of, she's with a group of friends on holiday in Europe. Her and her friends are really annoying to other hotel patrons. Precocious, just rabble-rousing, lots of money and really no care for other people. She then finds herself on her own on her train journey back to London, and she's with some of the people from the hotel who she annoyed. And she meets another person on the train, another woman on the train who goes missing. Now, Iris, before the train journey on the station, she is either struck, and I don't want to tell you the whole story, but she's either struck by sunstroke or she has been deliberately hurt over the head. And from there, Iris then, we spend the train journey looking for this mysterious woman who has gone missing. I really enjoyed this. I recommend it. There's so much more to the story that I can tell than I want to tell you, because again, you need to, especially with crime mysteries, I think, you really need to find out yourself. You don't want to be told the story before you've even turned the first page. So I recommend this. It's absolutely brilliant. I watched the old 1938 movie, and there was another one made in 1979, I think. Nowhere near the brilliance of this, and they're different stories, really. I recommend reading this one. It is absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I couldn't put it down. So that's that one. Another one which I recently purchased and read. I've never heard of this author before. This is an English author, Julie Wasmere, Murder at the Allotment. This is a wit sable pearl mystery. This is a series. I picked up this one because I thought it had a bit to do with gardening, and it does. Look, this is brilliant. It is a comfy, cozy crime equivalent to Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club, or although there is only really one. Pearl is really the main character, and she doesn't really work with others, such as those in the Thursday Murder Club or Amanda Hampson, Australia's Amanda Hampson's The Tea Ladies. Pearl really sort of works on her own, really. She has a police officer fiance, and she sort of works in with him a bit, but really Pearl steals the show. This is a great series. This is a great novel. I'm very interested to get back or get into the others in the series. There's a few, so I will be buying more of these. And I absolutely love the cover. I think the cover's gorgeous. There's the allotments here in England. And of course we have the red robin on the handle of the shovel or the pitch or the fork. I love this and I recommend it. Now, one that I am still reading, this next one I am still reading, but I wanted to show you because I didn't want to wait another week to show you, because I think this is really exciting and different and authentic and original. This is Jill Johnson's Hell's Bells. This is the second in the series of Professor Eustacia Rose mysteries. The first one was Devil's Breath. I absolutely adore the cover on this. Look at the... Now, she is a botanical toxicologist. She's very quirky. In fact, I think we're meant to understand that she is actually on the spectrum, on one particular end of the spectrum. She's so interesting. I absolutely love this character. I cannot wait. Well, I cannot wait to finish the rest of it, but and I'll let you know what I think of it once I have finished it. I'm only partway through, about halfway through, but I'm absolutely loving it. It tells us about botanicals. It's, that sort of alchemist type situation. Eustatia's quirky, as I say, obviously on the spectrum. I really love this character, and it's cozy, comfy, cozy crime. We're in England, we're in London, present day. There is, as I say, The Devil's Breath is the first. I am going to go back and buy that and read it. This is the second in the series, and then I think this year there is a third one coming out. I can't wait. The only thing I would love to see is, I think this deserves a hardcover, sprayed edges, and sitting on the bookshelf in the series. I think it would be absolutely beautiful. I love this series. I can't wait. Well, I can't wait to finish it, and I can't wait to get the first in the series, and then this year I'll definitely be buying the third. I loved it. Jill Johnson, she's English, it's set in England, it's quirky, it's original in its story and in its in the characters. I really loved it, absolutely loved it, and I love the cover. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So that's Jill Johnson, Hell's Bells, everyone. Murder mystery, comfy cozy, but also a bit, well, it's a lot quirky. It's also informative in the botanical, the plants and the botanical names, the Latin names. She really does give you a good insight into botanical toxicology. It's great. Murder at the Allotment. I love this. I will be buying more of these. This is a series by Julie Westmere, English, absolutely loved it. The Lady Vanishes, an old one by Ethel Lena White. It was originally The Wheel Spins. I recommend this. It was a great, great mystery. The Company by J.M. Varese. Well, I'll let you decide if you have already read it or if you are intending to read it. I wasn't particularly taken. I thought it had potential, but I wasn't particularly taken with it. The Distance Between Dreams by Emily Paul. I recommend this. Absolutely beautiful. This is Fremantle Publishing. It's due out this month. I think it might be out right now, actually. If it's not, it's very soon. Absolutely beautiful. And I'll let you know in the subtitles anyway. But this was wonderful. It's a love story. It's a coming of age. I loved it. I love the prose. I love the storyline. I thought it was gorgeous. Really lovely. And our last one, this is from HQ Fiction, Secrets of the Watch House by Jenny Ashcroft. Now, by the way, that's Australian author, Australian story set in Australia. Sorry there. And Secrets of the Watch House, English, but an author who spends a lot of time in Australia, but this is set in England. Secrets of the Watch House. I recommend it. They're really, really good novels. I was privileged to have been given these, and it was an honour to read them. They were just both beautiful stories. That's it, everyone. I'm going to leave you. I'm hoping that this is only short for you so that on your Easter Monday you can watch this and then relax or do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, that's it. I'm hoping. Now, one thing I must tell you, everyone, it is still really, really worryingly dry here. There are black clouds out. We're meant to get rain, but we have been promised rain for a long time, and it just hasn't happened. And I can't tell you how dry it is. It is so bad. If any of you watch the Raywood, Raywood is not too far from us. It's far enough, but not too far. But if you watch the travel video on Saturday, the Raywood country town, that's how it looks everywhere in central Victoria. It is so dry. The ground is cracking. We haven't had rain for such a long time. It's depressing. It is worrying. And a very big telltale, the Country Fire Authority in Victoria has extended our fire season into May. Now, in my career, my previous career, I had a lot to do with, well, I was also a volunteer in the CFA for a couple of years in the Country Fire Authority. I was a volunteer for a number of years, mainly structure fires, but I did fight a couple of smaller bushfires or wildfires, as we used to call them. And I did have a lot to do with fire prevention works in various municipalities. I have never, ever known the fire season, particularly in Victoria, to be extended into May. So that just tells you how dry it is and how worrying it is. It's like a tinderbox here and mainly around Victoria. I understand that South Australia has been having even hotter weather than us, and it is also a big worry for them. Our dam, I think I told you last week, our dam is absolutely dry. We are giving water to the wildlife and to our geese. And in fact we have to order some more. We're on tank water, and we definitely have to order a few more tanker loads. We buy our water in big tankers, and they come onto the property and then dump the water into our tank, but we're going to have to buy a few more loads. So fingers crossed, everyone. We're really hoping that it pours down. It's very dark out there, but oftentimes we see dark clouds and then they actually part and go in, they go north and south, and we miss it. So anyway, I hope to see you next week. There are more exciting novels to come. I'm partially through Hell's Bells. I'm absolutely enjoying it, but I will let you know how that finishes. And there are some more coming. So next week, hopefully you'll stay tuned and I'll be able to show you those. Okay, enjoy your Easter, everyone. I'd love to offer you a chocolate. If you could put your hand through and just take one, I would absolutely let you do that. But for now, enjoy your week, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.